Nebraska's coming off a 38-27 victory over Michigan State this past Saturday. Welcome back to the Tunnel Walk Talk. I am your host, Emmett. Today we are going over the Michigan State post-game reaction, and in the back half of this video, we'll be previewing Maryland. Let's get into the stats. Team stats, they were 2 for 14 on third down. We were 5 for 13. They were pretty poor on third down, which I kind of expected coming in. I didn't. I expected us to be much better on third down, but didn't happen. They were 4 or 5 on fourth down. We were 0 of 2. One of those was a fake punt on like the 38, 39, 40 yard line, somewhere in there. Uh, it was a direct snap to Harburg, and he was like a yard short. It was like 4th and 3, I think. Completion for attempts, they were 15 of 30 for 50%. We were 16 of 24, 66%. They threw 2 interceptions. I think Charles is the only one that threw 2 picks in that game. There was one that threw the 2 picks in that game, I should say. We only had 1 pick. Passing yards, they had 156. We had 194. Rushing attempts, they had 37 to our 27. They ran the ball quite a bit more. They averaged less yards at 2.3. We averaged 3.3. Sack adjusted, we averaged like maybe 5, 6 ish. Rushing yards, they had 86. We had 88. Total yards 242 to 240, 282. Penalties, they were 5 for 48. We were 6 for 44. They had 3 turnovers, a muff punt, and 2 interceptions. We just had the 1 interception. Time of possession, they had 33 minutes and 24 seconds, and we had 26 minutes and 36 seconds. Player stats for Michigan State, Aiden Childs was 9 for 23, 85 yards, averaged 3.7 yards a pass, no touchdown, 2 interceptions, QBR of 65.6. Also had 13 rushes for 23 yards and 2 touchdowns. Uh, Olesino, I'm not even gonna try to say his last name. He's a freshman that came in for him. He's a stud. 6 for 7, 71 yards. He was dotting us up a lot. He averaged 10.1 yards a pass, 1 touchdown, QBR of 99.4. He had 1 rush for 1 yard. That ended up being a touchdown. Rushing, Makai Frazier, 18 carries for 58 yards. Averaged 3 for 2, had a long of 15. So we did really good shutting down the run this week, as I honestly really didn't expect. I expected us to get kind of shit on in the run game again this week. I know it's kind of bad for me to say, but it's common occurrence this season. I figured they'd have 200 yards rushing between the 3 guys that ran the ball. Uh, Brandon Tolis, he had 5 carries for 4 yards, which a whopping .8 yards a carry. He had a long of 5 yards. He also had 1 reception for 24 yards. Uh, Nick Marsh and Jack Feeling are the only 2 receivers that kind of stood out in this game. Amari Kelly or whatever his name is, he didn't do absolute shit this week. Nick Marsh had 4 receptions, 41 yards, no touchdowns, 10.3 average catch depth. Jack Feeling, 3 receptions for 37 yards, 12.3 average, and 1 touchdown. Their defense had 49 total tackles, 37 solos, 5 sacks, 7 TFLs, and 1 pick. Nebraska player stats. Dylan Raiola he was 16 for 24, 66% passing, 194 yards through the air, 8.1 average, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He had a QBR of 18.9. He did not play his best game. He had a bad game. I'm glad it came this early in the year against hate to say it, but lesser opponent in Michigan State. Emmett Johnson had 13 carries for 83 yards, averaged 6.4 yards a carry, three touchdowns, long of 23, six receptions for 37 yards, 6.2 average per catch, long of nine. I thought Emmett Johnson really came on this week. Not being able to run the ball the last couple weeks really hurt us. I mean, he played exceptionally well. The other two running backs that really got carries, Makai Nelson, he only had one carry for 11 yards. Obvious average 11, long of 11. He also had one fumble recovery. He came late in the game. Uh, they muff. We were kicking into the wind, and we kicked it. Wind caught it. Guy dropped it. Makai Nelson fell on it. Um, Isaiah Mosley had three carries for 9 yards, averaged 3 yards a carry. Supposedly, I was listening to Matt Rule's press conference today, and he said that Isaiah Mosley is going to be our second string running back from now on, is what it sounded like at least. Hoiberg had one carry for 2 yards. That was on that fake punt. Receiving, Isaiah Hunter had four receptions for 93 yards, uh, 23.1 yards average, one touchdown. Long 59. He lost his shoe on that 59-yard touchdown bubble screen thing they did. Jacory Barney had two receptions for 47 yards, averaged 23 yards a catch, 23 and a half yards a catch, had a long of 45. If we would have thrown it into the wind, he would have got under that. We would have been gone for a touchdown. Uh, Defense, we had 63 total tackles, 33 solo, four sacks, a whopping 12 TFLs, and two interceptions. How did we get to the final score, you may ask? Nebraska's first drive, second drive of the game, technically, went 48 yards on a uh, 9 plays for 75 yards, went up 7-0. Michigan State went three and out, opted to punt. Jameer Khan blocks a punt. Carter Nelson scooped and scored to go up 14-0. After that, it was a whole lot of nothing. Second quarter, Michigan State had a 17 play, 75-yard drive, which really killed us. That took, I think it was 10 minutes off the clock of the second quarter. Uh, for a Child's rushing touchdown to make it 14-7. Uh, then punt, more punts. Deshaun Singleton had his first interception. Didn't make anything out of it. Next drive, Michigan State threw another interception. Deshaun Singleton didn't do anything again. After the half, uh, three drives in, Michigan State took it 48 yards on an 11 play drive to make it 14-14. Dylan Raiola threw an interception. Michigan State took it down to make it 21-14. They had 21 unanswered points in this game. The last drive of the third, Nebraska took it 75 yards on a 5-play drive to make it 21-21. Somewhere the first, I guess we'll go first drive in the fourth quarter. Nebraska kicked a field goal to make it 24-21. Somewhere in the fourth, Jacory had a punt that was returned to the house. Ended up being blocked. Carter Nelson had a block in the back. It was with under 6 minutes left in the game. Should have been nice to have. It has been our first punt return since the morning personnel in 2018, I think. Few drives later, Nebraska goes down the field, scores again, making it 31-21. Next drive, uh, scored again to make it 38-21. Then Michigan State had a really bad garbage time touchdown to make it 38-27 to get the spread on that. Nebraska ultimately ended up winning 38-27. My final thoughts on this game. Michigan State really gave us everything they had for being a very poor team. Uh, they tried to exploit us, especially on the line where we haven't been blocking very well. Um, they succeeded quite a few times, 5 times to be exact. In all honesty, we played really well. Our defensive line finally stepped up. We had some young guys come in that made plays. We had some reserves that came in and made plays. If the defense can keep up stopping the run, I think this team can go a long, long ways, especially with the number one pass defense in the nation still. Um, our line still needs a lot of work, but that'll come with time. I think they are serviceable. Um, let's switch over to the Maryland preview. Nebraska set to travel to Maryland as a 5.5 point favorite. I think it's up to 6.5 now, if I'm not mistaken. Five and a half, 6.5 point favorite this weekend. For a 2:30 p.m. kickoff on the Big Ten Network this Saturday. Both teams come into this contest at 4-1, with Nebraska's only loss to a top 25 Michigan team by 3, and Maryland coming off a loss to Washington 24-20 last week. This team is stout and probably one of the better Maryland teams we've played in the last, honestly, couple of years, probably better of a decade. Um, we'll go with player stats for Maryland. Excuse me. The quarterback Malik Washington, he's a five-star freshman out of the home state of Maryland. He's a big kid. He stands at 6'5", 230 pounds. Doesn't run a lot, but he's not afraid to run. Uh, he is very effective in the air. He has 1,257 yards and 5 touchdowns, 2 picks in the air. He also He has a QBR of 54.8, which I think is best for like 72nd in the nation. He only has 11 carries on the year for 22 yards, averages 2 yard a carry. But he does, but he does have 3 touchdowns on the ground, and he also completes 60% of his passes. This kid, I'd like to see how he favors against really good Nebraska pass defense. I think this is a game where we can really exploit him. They got 3 running backs that run the ball quite a bit, even though they're not very good, any of them. Dejon Williams, he's a true freshman, say at 5'11", 215 pounds. 59 carries on the year, 209 yards, averages 3.5 yards a carry, 1 touchdown. He also has 8 receptions for 73 yards. Uh, Nolan Ray, he's a sophomore. He's 6'1", 212 pounds, has 36 carries for 126 yards, 1 touchdown, also averages 3.5 yards a carry. The third running back that they use a little bit, I just took the running backs that had the most carries. But Iverson Howard, he's also a freshman, 5'11", 195 pounds. He has 26 carries for 91 yards, no touchdown, and he also averages 3.5 yards a carry. The receivers, they are older guys. Octavian Smith Jr., he is a senior, stay at 6 foot, 182 pounds. So smaller guy, but he's quick. Um, he has 19 receptions and 324 yards, no touchdowns on the year, averages 17.1 yards a catch. He's got a long of 53. Shalik Knots, he is also a senior, staying at 6'3", 194 pounds. 18 receptions for 305 yards, 5 touchdowns, 16.9 average, long of 62. Jaleel Farouk, I think's how you say his last name. I'm not sure. He's also a senior. He's 6'2", 213 pounds. Has 25 receptions for 233 yards, no touchdowns, and averages 9.3 yards a catch. And then they have a smaller tight end they like to kind of plug and play everywhere. Dorian Fleming, he's a sophomore, staying 6'3", 245 pounds. He has 21 receptions for 171 yards, two touchdowns, averages 8.1 yards a catch. Uh, their defense, they have 250 solo tackles, 106 assists, 356 total, 19 sacks on the year, and half of those come from two true freshmen off the edge. I don't remember what their names are. They are number 29 and 9. They have 19 sacks, and I think 9 of them come from them, 8 of them for sure. One of them has 4.5, the other one has 3.5. They have nine interceptions on the year and two pick sixes, one forced fumble, one fumble recovery. Nebraska team stats: Dylan Raiola through 5 games has 1,331 yards, 12 touchdowns, two picks, QBR of 66.7, 74% completion. I think his QBR is like 52nd in the nation or something like that. Emmett Johnson, 84 yards, 84 carries for 474 yards, 7 touchdowns on the year, averages 5.6 yards a carry. He also has 22 receptions for 110 yards, averages 5 yards a catch. Uh, Long of 9, and also has one TD in the air. Makai Nelson has 10 carries for 41 yards, one touchdown, averages 4.1 yards a carry. Quentin Ives, I'd love to see him more because he seems to be a productive back this season, though I don't know how he's going to fare in Big Ten play. He has 16 carries on the year, 119 yards, two touchdowns, averages 7.4 yards a carry. Ja'Cory Barney has 23 receptions for 348 yards, averages 15.1 yards a catch, three touchdowns along with 52. And Isaiah Hunter, 17 receptions, 290 yards, averages 17.1 yards a catch, two touchdowns along with 59. Dane Key, 16 receptions, 226 yards, averages 14.1 yards per catch, three touchdowns along with 40. And Luke Lindenmeyer has 17 receptions on the year for 166 yards, 9.8 yards per catch, one touchdown a year, and a long of 23. Um, our defense, we have 146 solo tackles, 140 assisted tackles, 286 total, 10 sacks on the season, three picks. Two of them came in last week's game by Deshaun Singleton, and the first one came from Malcolm Hartzog in the first game of the year. We have four forced fumbles on the year. We have six fumble recoveries, though. Uh, I put a note in here that said Malcolm Hartzog is more than likely going to be out yet again this week. I'd expect somebody like Donovan Jones or Rex Gunther to start in that nickel position. Maybe even somebody like Jameer Khan in some packages. My final thoughts on this game. Uh, Maryland wants to throw the ball this game. They're the worst. I mean, the worst in the Big Ten. Running the ball. Um, they rely on the pass game a lot. And I think we can. I think we can shut them down. Uh, we need to make Malik Washington make mistakes this week. Nobody's been able to challenge him yet. Granted, they've played three FCS schools in Washington. Um, and like I said, on defense, I think we're really gonna have to step up our offensive line because they got those two DNs that will rush the passer, and they're damn good at it. Um, They are a force to reckon with. Our line will need to step up. I don't give a shit who plays. Just fucking block them. Um, I think we need to get at least 14-21 pretty early in this game to win. I don't think they'll have. I think they'll have an issue coming back if we get up big on them. My final score prediction is Nebraska 35, Maryland 14. Um, Games around the country this week. South Florida and North Texas. South Florida is -1.5, so favored 1.5. North Texas will more than likely win that game. I think this will be a good lower level group of five matchup this week. It really should be. Um, Number one, Ohio State at number 17, Illinois. Ohio State's favored 13.5. I think Illinois will cover, even though I'm not really confident on that. I do think they cover though. Ohio State will win that game. Number eight, Alabama at Mizzou. Alabama's favored 2.5, which I don't know why. Ty Simpson's an absolute bum. Bo Perillo is going to throw all over that defense. Missouri is going to win that one. Uh, Oklahoma, number six, Oklahoma. It's at Texas, but it's the Liberal rivalry. They will be playing that in Dallas this year. Texas is favored 3.5 on a neutral site, which I don't know how they favored 3.5. They completely dropped out of the top 25 this week, which I think is absolutely hilarious to me. Oklahoma's gonna win that outright. I could see them winning this by 7, 10, maybe even 14 if they get up big early. Um, Number 15, Michigan at UCLA. USC, my bad. USC is favored 2.5 in this game. USC is gonna win outright. That's a tough, tough place to play in at the Coliseum. And not only that, they were traveling 2 or 3 time zones to go play. BYU, number 18, BYU at Arizona. BYU's only favored 1.5, which I think is ridiculous. I would expect BYU to win by 7-14 in this. Uh, La Tech at Kennesaw State. La Tech's favored 6.5. I think Kennesaw State's a lock for the spread on that at least, if not win it. They're 3-2 this year, which is kind of shocking, honestly, since they were one of the worst, if not the worst team in FBS last year. Number 7, Indiana at Oregon. Oregon's only favored 7.5. After what I've seen from Dante Moore and company when they traveled to Penn State, I do not think they will have any reason not to blow Indiana and shut Kirk Cinetti's little bitch ass up. Oregon's gonna win that outright. I expect probably 14-21. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Have a good night. Go be good.